Hey, my name is Andrew Barbuto, author of Top Sales Producer, How to Crush Your Sales Quota. And today I'm going to talk about the most common reasons that enterprise sales stall and how top sales producers prevent that. The most common reason that enterprise software deals stall is typically because they haven't uncovered a pain that is important enough to make a change. This happens during the discovery. There's not like some magic words that you can say that's going to convince somebody that they have a pain. You have to uncover it. And the way you do that is by digging deep, right? So you want to understand what their situation is, how they're operating today, what platforms they're using, how much manual processes in their operations, what's disconnected, what's fragmented, what's inefficient. Dive deep up front in your initial meeting. Because the reality is that they're either going to have an important pain, which they're going to want to make a change for, or they're not. And so sales really isn't about convincing. It's about uncovering and it's about educating. So just to give you an example of what that might look like. All right, let's say you're an agency and I'm a salesperson selling ad tech software. Okay? What I really want to know from you is all of the tools that you're using. What about your processes are inefficient that could be improved? And what is that causing for your business? Is it resulting in turnover? Are you losing clients? Mistakes? A reduction in collaboration? Performance for campaigns may be falling off? I want to dive deep into basically what's going on in your business and also why that you're operating the way you are. Now, for me, my experience working with similar agencies will enable me to quickly diagnose what is likely going on and understand whether that's important or not. I need expertise so I can be a consultant and explain why things are the way they are, how they can improve with my solution. And then, very simply, if there's an important need that they want to make a change for because it's having some significant impact on their business, then I need to just walk them through the process of making that change. People are typically hesitant to make change. They're busy, they have many competing priorities. So what you need to do is each step of the sales cycle, you need to be securing the next one. That only happens by really understanding your sales cycle and the buyer's buying process. So you need to know who might be involved in a decision, what the evaluation process likely looks like, what their resources they'll have available for your solution, and what does the timing look like. So some people have budgets at the beginning of the year, some may have available budgets right now. You need to uncover where those dollars are going to come from. Once you've gotten to the point where you've uncovered a significant inefficiency that's causing major challenges within their organization, and you've educated them on how your solution can solve those problems, you've received feedback from them where they have confirmed, yes, that's an important problem that's worth changing for, and your solution sounds like it would solve those problems, then you want to secure the next step. Typically with software, that's going to be a demo. So you can do this at any point during the meeting, as soon as there's an opening, which could be when they say something like, oh, I'd love to see that, or I wonder if that would work with my current processes. That's your opening for setting up the demo. You say, great, yes, it actually makes a lot of sense. It's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to actually see it and see if it makes sense with your current processes. Why don't we set up a demo with my solutions engineer to show you the platform so you can see whether it makes sense for your current processes and how it works with your current workflow. You'll be able to see whether it would be an improvement and whether it's feasible. Could we set that up maybe sometime next week? See if they'll schedule it right then and there. Ask them to take out their calendar and pull up yours and say, looks like my solutions engineer is available next Thursday, sometime between 1 and 4 p.m. Do you think that would work for you? Pause, wait for them to say yes or no. You want multiple decision makers to be joining that demo. You want to set it up with something like, hey, so if you were to move forward, who would actually be involved with that decision process and who might be using this platform? Great, it sounds like there would be several different team members that might be involved and that might be using it. those would be great people to have on the demo so they can see for themselves as well. So I have my calendar open. Would you mind quickly checking theirs? Try to get it on the calendar, because if you don't, even if they're interested, chances are they're going to get busy and you are going to have to follow up multiple times in order to get on the calendar. But when you do follow up, always make sure to start your email with the avails. So it makes it very easy for them to schedule it. Then, once you get on the actual demo, this is your time to dive deeper. Make sure that you prepare very strategically. If it's a solutions engineer that's giving the demo, make sure you give them all of the background information, what they should focus on, and you stay very focused during it so that you can pick up any signals that would show you that this is important and that they should make a change. You also want to understand things like timeline. You want to understand if this is a short-term opportunity or a long-term opportunity, as well as what decision process would look like. Are they the end decision maker, or are there others? Ask them very clearly, hey, so if you were to move forward, what would that look like for you? This will allow them to open up with respect to their timeline, who would actually be involved in the decision, what sort of factors that would ultimately be a part of that decision. And if they ask for pricing, that's a good thing. That's a buying signal. You may not be able to give pricing on the spot because there's other factors. So simply ask for those factors. Say, great, pricing is dependent on these 3 factors. Do you have them for me? If not, if you could follow up with them, I'm happy to share pricing in a proposal. Before the demo is over, you should have a good understanding as to their feedback on whether this would be a good solution for them, when they might be able to make a change, what that process would look like, who would need to be involved in it. The next step from a demo may be a follow-up demo if not all the decision makers were on the call, or it could be something like a proposal. Ask that question, don't assume. Say, okay, it sounds like this would be a good fit. What makes sense for next steps? Put the ball in their court, right? If they are interested, they will tell you how you should move forward. And then make sure that you are understanding, all right, what exactly will need to happen going forward? What other key factors do I need to share? And how quickly will they likely move? Now, with software, they're not always going to be ready to make a decision right away. And you shouldn't necessarily expect it if you've asked the right questions and you're discovering. And so once you've uncovered that information in their words, then you align your follow-ups with those next steps. Don't necessarily try to force a next step immediately if they tell you, hey, this seems like it would be a good fit, but I think sometime in June or July, we're going to be able to make a change because we have certain budget then. Say, great, why don't we put a tentative call on the calendar for June so that way we can reconnect then. This doesn't fall off the radar. I can send you the key information between now and then. So that way the next time we speak, you'll have all of the details that you'll need to make a decision. What's important about a software sale is there needs to be a trigger moment. There needs to be a timeline that is attached to a specific moment where they're going to actually be able to make a change. It's incumbent on you as the salesperson to find out what that is. You're not able to make it. You're not going to say, you have until the end of the month in order to buy this. That's just not how it works. So it's about discovery. It's about understanding their timeline. It's about understanding how important this is. It's about understanding what their decision process is. Once you've uncovered that, then again, you just need to continue to secure commitments on their end, get buy-in from the entire team, all stakeholders that might be involved. You do that by tailoring your solution to their individual needs, asking good questions, finding out what the criteria are, how important is this change, quantify what the operational loss is by not making a change. And then again, based on what their buying process and timeline looks like, you align all of your follow-ups with those. It should never be a surprise if somebody goes dark, because you'll have already asked during your meetings what their timeline looks like and how important is this. You're essentially asking them, okay, great. Are you going to make a change? And when are you going to make a change? Not in those exact words, but that's the information that you want to uncover so that way you can align your follow-ups with that schedule. You want to continue to provide value, arm them with the information that they need in order to make the change, walk them through the process, all integrations, put their mind at ease, address any specific challenges or objections that they might give you. So that way, by the end, they can make a very confident decision that they've collaborated with you to hash out all of the details necessary. And once the time is right, they're ready to make a change. So you're not going to convince somebody to take out money out of their pocket to buy from you. That has to do with their own resources. But by working with them, understanding their timeline, addressing all of their needs, bringing in all of the necessary people that are part of the buying decision, you can collaborate with them so that by the end of the sales cycle, it will feel very natural and there won't be any hard sell because you've done all the work up front and now it's simply about when you want to move forward. I hope this was helpful. Again, my name is Andrew Barbuto. I also have a specific strategy that I use to secure next steps in any meeting within 5 minutes. You can check it on my website, andrewbarbuto.com/resources. And it is a video titled How to Secure Next Steps in 5 Minutes. Go ahead and pick up my book on Amazon, Top Sales Producer, How to Crush Your Sales Quota. It takes all of the learnings that I've gathered over the last 10 years to close over $450 million across hundreds of deals in software and services. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you found value in this. And always remember, if you're not helping, you're not selling.